Hello once again. There are a number of people who have been asking me questions that have nothing to do with music, and I think it's fair to reply them. The first one is Emmanuel Magu. He's got two questions. The first question is, how many phones do you have? I think he's trying to say, how many lines do you have? So I'm going to rephrase it like that. Okay. The answer is 3. And let me explain. The first one is a business line. That's the line that I post every time on my videos. That's the line that I give every time I'm on air, on radio, on TV. That's the line I give out. That line is also very busy, so I'll take this opportunity to say this. Usually when I wake up, there will be something like 70 messages on WhatsApp. I find it rude to not reply anybody. That's why you see even on my Facebook, I try. It's either I like your comment or I reply to your comment so that there's interaction, so that it doesn't appear like you are speaking to a machine. So that's what I also do even on WhatsApp. I try to reply every WhatsApp message. But the problem comes when someone sends a message just written, go to hi. Over and I don't have your number in my phone book, but I'm going to a message. I'm going to say hi. Then I have to ask, who is it? I'm going to same Mupi. I know a lot of Wanasem Mataure, Wanasem fellow, Wanasem, a lot of Wanasem my friends. So I remember when we did a program called MSU, my classmates can't compare my numbers and my fellow musicians, so I gave them the numbers, and some of them came back saying, your colleagues are not replying our messages. And they said, how are you sending the messages to them? And I discovered that some of them were sending those messages hi. So I started teaching them etiquette of speaking to people who receive many messages. But if you just send message hi, most musicians will ignore, or most people who receive a lot of messages will ignore. So what you need to do is include your greeting and your content on the same text message. Hello, my name is Mukundu. I got your number from Paraclete William. I'm a music producer. So I was thinking you could help me with my graphic designing. How much do you charge? What to pay? Couldn't go to high. Of what is it? And then number 2, avoid writing my essays. It's called SMS for a reason. It's short message service. It's supposed to be short. No one has got the time to read a whole essay, a whole assignment, a whole thesis. About you don't go to I want to record, but my name is Jameson. I dream songs. God gives me songs. By the way, I don't believe God writes for people. I believe God gives you the gift. Oceans awake. Because some of the people on to know Squama songs, have got the worst songs. They want to say, I'm going to my songs. Yeah. The second line is the line that I use for groups. Because a lot of people have been asking me to join their groups. And I just thought within the Ramanyugoti, I know, and these are my groups, and these are my groups. We need to go one. So I'm very particular about keeping my relations in one. So at the same time, I also didn't want to put my business line into groups. Because 200 messages. Oh my, business. Message against kiki. So I just thought I need to separate the business line from line Rema groups. So I've got a line simply for groups. And then the third line, of course, that's my private number. Because my artist artists are going to phone at 2 a.m. with the song so for me to also have family time with my wife and kids, I switch off my phone after 6 o'clock. I switch off the business line and the groups line. Those are the private line. Out phone reach out, but that one obviously is a private line and I don't give it out. So basically, answering your question, I've got 3 lines. His second question says, how does your wife tolerate your profession? Okay. I think maybe you assume I'm very popular, so people will be screaming at me, Murodi, Chichi, asking for autographs, but that's not the case because I'm not an A-list celebrity. What we call A-list celebrities are people like Alec Machesu, Winky D, Japres, Suluman Chimbetu, and so forth. Every time they walk in the streets, people will be screaming, people will be asking for selfies and so forth. I'm not that popular. I'm just somebody who works behind the scenes, so most people don't even know me. In fact, most of you started knowing me because of social media, because I work behind the scenes. I'm just a guitarist and a music producer. So, but the only time that I'm greeted a lot is when I go to music shows. Yeah, that's different, because a lot of music fans who know they're musicians. So my first days here, I'm better problem, especially if I am given a hug by a female, I'm better problem Gudara. And yet the way she hugged you, but the husband was close on my eyes. I was blah blah blah. But right now she's now very matured, and sometimes when people ask for selfies with me, she just walks. But what she doesn't want is hold the camera. And the other thing is, we started dating on Saturday, 12 June 1993. And the first day we started dating, I told her everything. I'm a musician, I drink beer, and mama says, and this is how I live in Doraram kitchen, my flow, Vanamuza, everything. And so she accepted me for who I am. Throughout our marriage, I've never had any other job besides music, so she understands. This question is coming from Tain Chinjonjo. Okay, he says, how did you learn guitar? Okay, like most people of my generation, I'm 52 right now, so most people of my generation, we started off by playing homemade tin guitars. So I also had mine since I was age 9, 10, I don't remember those days in Sanda Unyurama days, but around age 9 and 10 I made myself my first homemade tin guitar. So that's the one I played until I was too grown, and I was now ashamed to be seen playing a homemade tin guitar. Then on 22 January 1988, I had my first lesson on a standard guitar, on a proper guitar, St. Mary's Chitungwiza. I was taught by a gentleman by the name of thst. He's the first person who knows on the Tisachugunu. Put this finger there, and there, and there. Now play. Okay, now put your finger there, blah, blah, blah. He's the first person to teach me from zero. I'm saying this because right now there are a lot of people who claim to have taught me guitar, and even those who refused to teach me when I wanted them to teach me are now claiming that they taught me guitar. Musanyiperu. My first guitar teacher was thst, and my first theory teacher was Ambuji from Fakose. Then the second one was Isaac Chirwa. So basically those are my three rabbis. Those are my three teachers. Those are my three heroes. Okay. Then the next question is coming from Gabriel Kufakwedeke. He says, did you study sound engineering? Okay. What I did is, when I started buying studio equipment, that was 2004, the first thing that I bought was a computer. And loaded some music softwares, and then I started asking my friends to teach me. I was not computer literate at that time. So the first person to teach me was a guy by the name of Nomen Chibanda. I know he's based now in South Africa. Then the second person was Mark D. Chidawa Enzi, and then Jaros Hamba, and then Flash Gordon. Because I knew that people from my generation were not that computer literate. So I turned to the younger generation to teach me, and they did a good job. So I think more than 10 teachers who would come. And then when I started running the studio, I spent 2 years without mixing or mastering any music. I experienced music producers and engineers. So they will teach me whilst I will be taking notes. And it was Isaac Chirwa who then said to me, "Why are you not mixing? You sound amazing on Udara." So he sat me down and he said, I had called him to mix a certain album. And then he said, "I'm not going to mix the album. You are going to mix it, but I'm going to tell you what to do." So he was the one who taught me with him, take this one up, take this one down. You need to fatten the bass. You need to brighten the highs. Take this vocal to the left so that it's panned to the left, blah, blah, blah. So Isaac Chirwa is the one who also taught me how to mix music. So I started mixing 2 years after starting my studio. So this is a lesson to those who are starting to run their own studios. Don't be quick to do mixing, because mixing is very delicate and you can kill a project just by mixing it. It's known as miramushi. I know the panic excitement kanobata kuti studio ndiyangu dinda mix and dinda say, but you need to control your excitement. Then this one is coming from Moyondizo Dewa Mawaranda. He says, "Who plays the drums when you do jam sessions?" Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I know that every time I do a jam session, you just see me playing, and then the drums will be playing, coming from somewhere. Yeah, what I do first before I hold the guitar to do a jam session, I start by programming the drums. And what I do is I use what are called loops, where I invited more than 10-15 drummers, and I asked them to play my hi-hats, my seben, my rim patterns, my snare patterns. And then I also created what are called samples. So the loops that I created, you can manipulate them you can change the tempos, you can change the groove, you can play around this, what we call time stretching, whereby you can take a loop that was created at tempo 55, and then you can play around and use it on a song that's on tempo 90. You just stretch it. It's called time stretching. So every time I'm playing, I start by programming the drums. I know when you watch the video, it looks like something that has been done in 2-3 minutes, but at times it's something that can take hours to do, because I need to program the drums first, and then program everything, the percussion, the drum fills, my drum rolls, and then I start playing. After playing, I have to mix the audio. And you can see that I've got a microphone. It's because I don't want the sound to... If you watch my earliest videos, the sound was terrible. And someone gave me a constructive criticism and said, your videos are good, but your sound is terrible. So I took the advice. So from that time, I always use a microphone to speak, so that the audio is recorded. If you look here, microphone. So after that, I mix it and master it and clean up the audio, edit. So it's something that can take me hours, and then those post as well. Okay, so these are the questions that I had compiled. I would also like to say thank you very much for the questions that you are sending me. I enjoy the questions. It has become my favorite pastime to answer those questions, and keep them coming. I'm enjoying, because you notice with there are many questions. A number of things concerning the music industry because of those questions. But keep the questions interesting. I want to make questions. That's not interesting. Ask my questions like like Dubai Shansa keyboard. No, it's not a keyboard. It's a technique. You bend, then I demonstrate. This was not guitar to go Ryan Boris was saying, no, I shan't my page over, shan't my melodies over, shan't my codes. We didn't know. So those questions are interesting even to me, and so thank you very much. It's been fun answering these questions. I hope to get more questions from you. Mosquera Bo.